Do you like that?
Is that the new intro?
Yeah.
Did you make that on GarageBand?
No.
You just got that somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's free.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the YouTube creator page. You can go on and search music. That's where I find our holding music and stuff. It's a minute and a half long. I'm gonna play the end of it on the outro.
Yeah, it sounds kind of like
Seinfeld-y? That's what I think of.
Yeah, I was thinking a really bad sitcom. Or possibly a really bad late night talk show.
Yeah? I mean...
Yeah, so that works.
That's about what we are. I think it's slightly better than the thing that you did in 30 seconds. Slightly.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So this is the podcast.
But at least mine was original.
This is original, just not by us.
Yeah, that's not what original means.
It's original by the artist.
It's original by them.
Yeah.
Mine was original by us.
By you.
By me.
I contributed, I think.
I don't know.
I think I said add cowbell.
Oh, yeah. More cowbell.
I Christopher Walkened it. So, you got any stories? I'm gonna pour myself a beer.
Any stories? Speed limits. Are they just a suggestion?
No, I don't think they are. Look
Okay.
at that pour, by the way.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm good at pouring beer. I'm an alcoholic. I'm not. That was the joke. I'm gonna take a picture of that for the Instagram. I'm gonna take a picture of you for the Instagram.
Why would you even include that on the podcast? This
So
is dead air time.
People will go check out the Instagram.
No, they're not going to go check out
can I
the
address
Instagram.
something, by the way?
What?
Can I talk to the audience for a second? The
Sure.
7 people listening. Fuck you guys. Tell other people to listen to the podcast, you bastards.
I don't think they're real people.
They
I think
are.
they're like bots.
I know they're real people. I know at least 3 people in real life that listen to this, and sometimes 4.
Maybe they did tell other people, and then they clicked on it, and it was just this, and then they stopped listening.
Well, this is fun. This is
Is
funny.
it fun?
I don't know.
Talk about something.
Okay, so the other day, my cat's licking his asshole.
You had a customer service
I had a customer
issue.
service issue. So, do you know what Chewy is?
Chewy.com, yeah. It's for animals.
So I get his food and his litter, his being my cat, for anybody who doesn't know, and I have them on auto ship. So every 8 weeks or whatever, I get a big bag of food and a couple bags of kitty litter. And I pushed it back because I have enough food and cat litter for the time being. So I was like, push it back a couple of weeks, whatever. So then I'm looking in my banking app. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I being charged for Chewy? So I look at my app and it's like, no orders. I was like, oh, that's weird. So I'm just thinking, okay, so it messed up and it sent my auto ship because the amount was sort of what I was expecting it to be. It was $50-something, and bag of food is $30-something, and kitty litter is $15. So
right.
With shipping and all that. And then I got another charge for $43. And I went to look at my account again and it was like, hey, set up your auto shipments today, 35% off your first auto shipment, no order history. And I was like, okay, so something's wrong. So I sent a message in the thing and I was like, hey, what's going on?
You have a password for this and everything, right?
Yeah.
So you still had oh yeah, because you were looking on the account.
Right. So, and I logged out, logged back in, tried in a browser, not through the app itself, because maybe the app was messing up. So I went through a browser. Couldn't see anything. So I messaged them like, hey, I don't know what's going on, so call the support center. It's like, okay. So I call. This lady picks up. Very nice, yeah.
They start like that.
Yeah, don't worry. So she's like, how can I help you? I was like, well, I have an interesting problem. Because I'm seeing charges to my card, but I don't see any order history in my account. And she's like, okay, what's your email and your phone number and all? And so I give it to her and she goes, yeah, you must have another email associated with your account. You have another account somewhere. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I don't. And she got mad at me. She was like, no, you have this email is new. This hasn't been used before. And I was like, this is my only email. I know I've been using this email for 10 years. I know what my email is.
No.
And she was just like, well, I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, what do you want me to do? Like, this is my email. So then it got to the point where she was like, do you have the tracking information for this shipment? And I was like, no, but if I got you like an old tracking number from an email I got sent, would that help? And she said, yes, it would help. So I went through my emails and I found I gave her the number, and she's like, oh yeah, somebody hacked into your account and ordered like $100
worth of cat food
of whatever to ship to like fucking Texas or some shit. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Who hacks a pet
Right?
food thing? Yeah, like usually if you're gonna hack something, it's like for profit.
And then,
So like, is he just buying the stuff and then reselling cat food in the street?
but then it wasn't even that much stuff. It was like $100. It was only like twice as much what I pay for my one cat. So if you had 2 or 3 pets, which isn't abnormal, $100 would easily be that's like a normal order. So this person, I don't even know if it was nefarious. It might have just been the wires got crossed somehow and they accidentally ended up in my account. And they were like, what the fuck is going on here? Fucking change all this information and ship my shit.
Like they put in your email address.
Like somehow they accidentally got in. I don't know, maybe the Chewy servers got mixed up. It happened on Steam a couple of years ago, the video game thing, where you would log into your account and you'd just be in somebody else's account. It was like on Christmas Day or something. It was a really big fucking deal.
So it was like so it was like more of like a fuck you kind of hack, like a Russian kind of hack.
No, it was just like something weird happened where
it wasn't like one guy trying to get into your account.
It wasn't a hack, or the Steam thing. I don't know what happened with my Chewy thing. The Steam thing wasn't a hack. It was just like a bug in the system. And like my friend Travis, who's been on the podcast before, you haven't met him. He was just like, yeah, I was in some Russian guy's account for like 15 minutes. And I was like, that's fucking weird. Nothing happened to me. I don't know. So the lady was initially nice, got a little mingy with me, accused me of having a different email address. And then we figured out the problem and they gave me my money back and it was all good. Which I want to say very clearly, I worked in service for several years. You work in service. Sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes, you get asked a question a million times. Sometimes you're a little short with people when you don't mean to be. I get it.
I never am.
You're a robot though.
Yeah. Somebody said I have the patience of a robot after I waited on a customer one time.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I feel like a robot wouldn't be very patient.
Why?
I don't know. They're just like, have you ever?
Its job is just to do whatever the people say.
But if you're entering like gobbledygook into a computer, the computer's just like, I don't blue screen. You know what I mean? Like it just fucking stops.
Well, no, I think it would be like I'm a robot who's like highly trained in customer service and also in the language of idiot. You know what I mean?
Which is most customers.
That's the other thing somebody said with my customer service. Because this woman came in, she said, do you have the little round skinny pieces of meat that you can eat with crackers and stuff like that? And I was like,
a pepperoni? Or like a salami?
You would think pepperoni, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I mean, that sounds like a deli item. They have little squares of salami you can buy, for like a snack.
Right.
So go over to the deli, and then before we even get down there, I was like, is there a brand name for this item? And she said it was pepperigoni. And I was like, all right, that's got to be a deli item. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound familiar.
And so she was describing this thing to one of the guys at the deli, and then he said, a pepperoni? And she was like, yeah. Like, I've never had somebody come up to me and describe what
to me one time.
What a pepperoni was?
It wasn't a pepperoni. It was something else. It was in the produce section. And I think she was looking for zucchini.
Yeah.
but she I don't think English was her first language, and she had a super heavy accent. I don't remember what the accent was, but she kept saying like zucca something, and it was I like nothing was processing. Like I didn't make that connection. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I had to go through like 3 people before someone went, do you mean zucchini? And she went, yes. And then we figured it out, but it was fun.
Yeah. Well, with the pepperoni, it was like, I brought her over to it, and I was like, I went back to the guy, and I was like, I've never had somebody like come up to me and describe what a pepperoni looks like and expect me to like it. I wouldn't even think to look for that.
Right.
Because usually it's like, hey, where are the pepperonis? Like, who does not know what a pepperoni is by name?
I don't know. I mean, there are people who legitimately don't know how to pronounce bologna, which is fair because bologna is spelled fucking stupid.
Bologna?
Bologna.
Nobody pronounces it bologna.
I know, but if you had never heard that word before and someone wrote it down on a shopping list,
yeah,
how would you pronounce it? You wouldn't say bologna.
Well, anyway, he said like it's because you don't speak used a word I'm not going to use.
Right.
But you know what I mean. He said it's because you don't speak blank. Just for the podcast, just keep it a little mellow. And then yeah, and he said that's why they keep you in the back so you don't have to interact with any of these people. And then this like fucking woman in a Mart cart starts wheeling up, and he's like, I mean, look at these people. It's a fucking Neanderthal over there. Like right in front of him, like super loud too, like did not give a shit. He's like, look at these people. That's a fucking Neanderthal over there. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah, I mean, there's stuff that doesn't bother me. I mean, that didn't bother me. I was just thought it was weird.
Right.
But like, you know, like the Wunderbar bologna, because Wunderbar means wonderful in German.
Sure. And
people just call it Wonderbar. It's like stuff like that. It's still not going to bother me because like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it's so weird to be like, get a pound of Wonderbar. It's like the name is like most people know Wunderbar means like wonderful in German, right? Like the vast majority of people.
I don't think so.
Did you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I could probably get it in like 10 guesses.
Yeah, like if somebody was like if you gave me something and I was like, Wunderbar.
I'd probably put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
But if somebody like again wrote it on a piece of paper,
because it's written with a W.
I wouldn't be like, I don't. What?
Yeah.
Languages are all fucking stupid, and none of them make sense. Like at all.
I think they do make sense.
They don't.
If they didn't make sense, we wouldn't be communicating right now.
Jordan.
In English.
There.
What about there?
There.
Yeah.
And there.
There and there.
Like there are
there and over there.
Like all of these rules, like
behind there.
I before E except after C, except for that happens every time, except all these times when it doesn't. Like nothing.
But
nothing makes sense. There's no there was no rules.
What do you mean? There is just there. It's whatever you're pointing at.
What about their thing?
It's their thing. They own it.
Okay, then, but
that makes sense to me.
They're the same pronunciation, but they're different words. Sometimes they're two words.
But it makes sense to you.
It does because I've been speaking this language for 20 some odd years.
So it makes sense.
But it doesn't.
Maybe if somebody else was trying to learn it.
Just because, like, if you've been fucking hammering square pegs into round holes your entire life, and someone came up to you and went, "That doesn't make any sense," you go, "Well, yeah, it does. I've been doing it my whole life." Like, no, just because you've been doing it
makes sense to him
doesn't mean it makes sense.
Makes sense.
Language is all fucked. There's a really interesting take on that. There's a science fiction story called Rendezvous with Rama. I'm not gonna go down a tangent here. This is a quick thing.
Sounds familiar.
Where I've talked about it before. It's written by the same guy who did 2001.
Okay.
Not Stanley Kubrick. The book.
The bad version.
Yeah, it's good. It's actually a really good book. You should read it.
Not if it's not written by Stanley Kubrick.
They did it at the same time, so they were collaborating back and forth.
Okay.
It's really interesting to know the movie really well and then listen or read the book because they are drastically different in parts. Like they go to Saturn in the book instead of Jupiter, and they were going to go to Saturn in the movie, but then they couldn't figure out how to do the rings.
How could you possibly go to Jupiter?
Same way you go to Saturn, just more.
Do they know what Jupiter is made of?
Yeah.
They're gonna land on Jupiter?
No, they're just going like to that system because the thing is on the moon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is in 2001.
Yeah, it is.
Because
Because they find the fucking on the moon.
Yeah.
They uncover the obelisk, and then it does the thing. And they're all holding their helmets, and then they beamed a radio signal to Jupiter. So we're gonna go to Jupiter and figure out what's going on. And then they get there, and he goes down to the moon, and he gets like sucked into the thing, and then he's like, and then he's old.
That
It makes a lot more sense in the book.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie like in a clear state of mind, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah.
And I've argued that you can just watch it in a clear state of mind, and you won't understand it any better. Probably you'll understand it less.
No, but you see, I'd be more interested in trying to figure it out if I was in a straight state of mind than if I wasn't, because when you're not, you don't really care, and you're just like, whoa, that looks cool.
Pretty colors.
Yeah. Whoa, what is that? Whoa, what is that, a baby?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The book explains a lot more. Like when he's going through the Stargate, they call it, he sees like ships and stuff, and it's like it's like Contact, where there's all these wormhole portals and stuff, and ships are coming by, and he sees all these different things, and it's really cool. But anyway, in Rendezvous with Rama, which was written either before or after that, this thing comes into the solar system, and they send a little ship to go talk to it, and like see what's going on. And
was it Wall-E?
No,
no.
It's a giant cylinder that's spinning. And they show up, and they're like, there's this whole thing with threes where everything's trisymmetrical, and then they get inside, and they're like walking down the stairs to the outer edge because it's spinning, and the centripetal force is pushing them down into gravity. And they eventually they wake up these aliens or robots or something. Like they're intelligent, but they look robotic. They're like Transformers, but they're all trisymmetrical.
They look like cars.
They don't, but it's like
they're box shaped.
They're not alive, but they're alive. You know what I mean?
Right. So
and they start like digging around and finding all this shit, and they cut their way into a building because they can't figure out how to get in. And they go in, and they're looking through stuff, and it's like a library almost, and they're seeing all these pictures or holograms or whatever of different stuff, and they're like swiping through, and they're like, this makes absolutely no sense. Like none of these items look like they're clearly in an order, but the order doesn't make sense. There's no rhyme or reason to it. And then somebody's like, well, if you look at a dictionary, you know, like aardvark and whatever the fuck is underneath aardvark, those things don't look anything alike. But because we've assigned this language to them, that's the order.
Aardvark and Arthur?
Yeah, whatever. Whatever the fuck the next thing.
The kids show?
No, like aardvark is spelled with 2 A's, so it's at the top.
Okay.
Whatever comes after aardvark in the dictionary, like those two things aren't related in any way other than this random thing that we've assigned them. You know what I mean?
By the A?
Yeah. So, like, this alien civilization basically would have done the exact same thing, probably. So we have no point of reference. The English language is stupid.
I mean, that's like, no, the alphabetical. The fuck you say that word?
Alphabetically? Alphabetical? Alphabetized?
Alphabetized. There we go.
Jordan is not drunk. He's very sober.
Yeah.
He's drinking a Heineken Zero. All that non-alcohol is going to your head.
No, I think it's just because I have a headache, and I've had a headache all day. No, so that makes sense to me. You want to look up animal? Start with the A's. The alphabet's in a certain order that we invented, sure.
Right.
But I think we would figure that out with something else.
Eventually we would. If we had a point of reference, but with no point of reference, you would have no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, I mean, what's the world's hardest language to learn?
It depends on who you are, I think. Because if you're Russian, probably something like English or French or Spanish. Like, one of the non-Germanic languages, would have difficulty learning a Germanic language, and all
thinking,
the
like,
Germanic languages would have difficulty learning the non-Germanic languages.
Well, I was thinking more of like, not even like common languages,
Probably like Latin,
or just, well,
ancient Egyptian. I don't know.
Latin, no, because that's sort of like still kind of in use.
Swahili. I don't know.
I think
Cave painting, drawing.
no,
Scaffold.
I was thinking like, I love how it comes through the speaker. No, I was thinking like, if we just, there's like certain tribes that like,
Sure.
no one's allowed to have contact with.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one that lives on an island. I forget their name.
The helicopter comes down and they start throwing shit at it.
Yeah, and that Christian missionary guy went to it. He didn't come back.
Do you think he's still there?
No, they think they ate him. That's more than likely what happened. I watched the whole thing on it. But like, yeah, how is he even going to communicate with them? What was his plan there? That's what I want to know. Because like, languages like that, where it's like so vastly different, it's like, do you think you would be able, just as human beings, to find point of reference just simply based on, because body language is almost like universal,
Right.
for the most part. Like there are some cultures where it's like a lot of places in Asia, they don't like to touch each other and stuff like that. So like hugging and stuff like that's weird.
But I think if you cross your arms, people could
Right.
tell that you're
Like I feel like
pissed.
there's certain things people just do,
because you're defending
like,
yourself.
automatically. Right. So I think with aliens though, I don't know if it would be the same emotions.
Well, it's sort of like, I heard this from Ricky Gervais, where he was talking to Carl Pilkington. He was trying to explain this to Carl Pilkington. Carl Pilkington, one of the greatest minds of our generation, by the way. And Ricky Gervais was explaining how if a lion could speak English, you wouldn't understand it.
Yeah,
because its world is so vastly different that you would have no similar point. Like, there would be no
Right.
overlap.
it would basically just be like, instead of a roar, it'd be like
Food.
Yeah.
Food. Horny.
horny, food,
It's like every
Food.
17-year-old guy.
drink water. Well, have you seen that where they did that with the bonobo?
No.
It's got a it's not a, what do you call that? Holograph? Where it's pictures of different items.
Pictographs?
Maybe. I don't know why I'm thinking
I just made that
pictograph.
word up, I think.
Yeah, you probably did.
The holodeck from Star Trek.
Harlodeck. Something like that. Anyway, so they were trying to teach this bonobo how to speak English. Not actually speak it, but it uses this device. Like it full on, who's the dude in the wheelchair?
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, it's like a Stephen Hawking thing for this
The
thing.
dude in the wheelchair.
And, yeah, he's dead now.
I don't know what's more sad, the fact that you said that or the fact that I instantly understood who you were talking about.
How could you not? Who else would I be talking about?
I don't know, any other person in history who was in a wheelchair.
Name one that was famous and had the talking thing. Dude was like writing stuff with his mouth.
No, he was doing it with his eye.
With his eye? That's
tracked
even
his-
more
It
impressive.
tracked his eye, I
No.
think.
Oh, no, I mean before he got real bad. I think he was able to take a pen and like write down what he wanted to say, like with his mouth.
I thought you were doing the burn, burn, burn with the, because he had a computer.
He
and
had
would
that, yeah.
Track his eye.
And then eventually that was like totally off. He went downhill.
I think he could always use his eyes, though.
Yeah.
Did you hear?
It was a muscle thing.
Not to totally derail your story of whatever you were
The
talking
bonobo.
about. There was a story I heard of Stephen Hawking where he was on like some set or something doing some documentary, and an intern went over to like unplug a light, and he unplugged it, and as he unplugged it, Stephen Hawking like slumped down in his chair and stopped moving. And they all rushed over, and he's just sitting there like giggling in his chair.
Yeah, I guess he had a sense of humor.
Yeah, fucking great guy. Too bad he.
Like, he was just waiting for
Got
that to
fucked.
happen too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, one day. Anyway, back to bonobos.
Yeah,
Speaking
bonobos.
English.
Yeah, so they would talk to it, and it would be like, they would have these videos they would show it. Really bizarre. Like, there's one where it's this guy in a bunny costume, and so like the bonobo would like ask to watch this movie. It's just a guy hopping around. It was the bonobo's like favorite video to watch. So it would just be like, hit the thing. It would be like, bunny, watch. Like, it would just fucking like slap this thing. And it would be like, banana. banana, like when it wanted food.
Right.
Yeah, seriously, look it up. And there's one video though. I will warn you, there is a great ape orgy in the beginning of it, and I don't know why they included that.
I
But
mean,
then it gets to the more
it's something the world
interesting
has
stuff.
to see, you know?
Yeah. Well, they also try to teach dolphins how to talk.
Yep.
Yeah,
We've
we're
talked
giving
about that before.
Yeah, they're giving LSD to
giving
them.
hand jobs and doing LSD.
Yeah. What's our fascination with getting animals to communicate in a language we understand when you can understand a dog and a dog can understand you? It's like the only animal that can recognize like the human when you change your facial expressions.
I bet other animals can. I bet crows or some shit could do it.
Well, dolphins are something smart,
Right.
but maybe that's not even a fact. That's just something I heard. But
I
you know,
mean-
if you just go like to a dog, you know, it'll be like,
Yeah.
you know, or cock its head.
I mean, and it is. We're going down a fucking rabbit hole right now, boys. It is. It gets to the what you. I don't know how to word this. It's like, what do you call intelligence? Like, what is intelligence? What do you call communication? Because when you do that to a dog and the dog perks up, it's like, it's associating that with something else. Like, that's just association.
Intelligence?
That's like pulling out I can go open a can and Beano will run out here. I'm not communicating to Beano. He's just like, that noise means food.
Right.
So what is intelligence? And that gets into, like, you look at crows. And crows are super fucking smart. Like, they can remember people's faces and clothes and shit. Like, if somebody walks by and is mean to them, and then that person walks by a year later, they'll all freak out because that guy was mean to them. They've found...
Who's being mean to the crows?
There are these studies where they wear, like, masks.
Yeah.
And shit. But I saw one...
But really, the crows were probably just like, what the fuck?
That guy looks like a watermelon.
What the fuck? That ain't right. That ain't right, Reggie. Reggie, don't go by that. That ain't right.
Hey, Mark.
Mark,
Come look at this guy.
put your kids inside. There's some fucking weird shit going on.
Deborah, get in the house.
Deborah, get in the house. Anyway, what?
They make tools and stuff. Like they'll take sticks and they'll put them together and to get food and stuff. And they found that they will incentivize crows. They'll give them the option of, you can have food now, or you can do this other option. And if you do the other option, it'll, like, you can either take the stick or you can take the food. And they learned that if they took the stick, then in the next room, essentially, they could use the stick to get even more food. So they would take the stick instead of the food.
Yeah.
Because in their brains, they're like, I can use this later. And they would wait for like 15, 20 minutes. It wasn't like they would give them the option and then immediately go to the next stage.
Yeah, it wasn't like they trained them.
It was like 15, 20 minutes later. And that's... Animals are fucking smart sometimes. And it's,
crows are
kind of
cool.
scary.
I mean, I don't know. There's dogs that I've had. Like the dog I have now, I think she's stupid. I love her. But,
Dude, my dog's fucking dumb.
right. But then, like, we had our family dog growing up. Well, after we had some that died when I was still a kid, and then the one that we had, like, up until we were all adults,
Right.
died when I was like 16, which is a really old dog.
Yeah.
But that dog was like the smartest dog I've ever seen. So we would have chickens, and when the chickens would get out, the dog would go around and help us round them up. And not even like it was trained or anything. It just saw that we were looking for the chickens. And like when we first got her, she went to attack the chickens, and I like spanked her, and I was like, no. And she was like, "Urgh." And after that, she was like really respectful of them and never did anything. But it's really bizarre that she would just like see us picking them up and us looking for them. And then
What kind of dog was it?
it was a mutt.
Hmm.
It was from St. Martin's, this island.
Might be like some border collie in there.
I don't know. It's
Because
from
I've
an
seen
island,
dogs
so.
who are not herding dogs at all, but they come from a line of dogs who are herding dogs, and there's like an innate
Yeah.
drive to like collect things?
Well, it was like she found it, and like the dog we have now, you can spank her or yell at her or whatever, zap her. It doesn't matter. She's gonna do she's gonna do whatever she wants to do, like, and not learn anything. And I know like a dog trainer or a dog person will be like, that's bullshit. Like it's like, okay, well, I've had some dogs where like.
I
mean,
know
it is.
There are dogs who will not listen.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can train any dog. Like, we've gotten her, she's better, but like not like this other dog that just immediately got everything.
Right.
Like, saw we were picking him up, and she was just over, kind of like on top of something. So we were like, hey, what's that? What do you have? And it was like she was just pinned down one of the chickens, and like left it there.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
But then there's also like some kind of intelligence with this new dog. So I lost my car keys, and I was freaking out, and I looked all outside, and I was like, son of a bitch, because it was one of the automatic opening ones, and those are expensive.
Right.
And then the dog came and had the keys in her mouth, but not even to like eat them or anything or play with them. She just brought them like back to the house.
I think your dog stole your car keys.
No, she didn't. I definitely dropped them. But I thought that was kind of smart.
Yeah, there's...
Because she, like, somehow knew that, like, those had some sort of meaning. Because anytime... She'd love going for car rides.
Mm.
So she would have seen those and got that it's, like, something I need, like...
This is the thing that lets the...
Right, because even if you, like... It's interesting, because even if you just showed a dog car keys like this and jiggled them, they would immediately think, oh, we're going for a car ride. So they make that connection, and then it's like, oh, this is an item I need to protect.
Right.
Stuff like that is weird to me.
It is weird. It is, yeah. Animals are freaking weird.
Oh, there's one of them in the house right now. What if he's listening?
It's the squirrels from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, really. That's what I was thinking.
We need to overthrow the government.
Little boy. Oh, little boy. We'll grant you wishes and give you candy if you talk to us.
Pack your shit, Morty. Told you not to fuck with squirrels.
I love that episode.
That was the Morty's Mind Blowers, the memories or whatever that Rick erased.
Something like that. I don't remember. I haven't seen that show in a while.
It's the same one where he experiences true level.
True level?
Yeah. Where he's putting together a shelf with a level, and Rick's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I'm building a thing. It's like, using that? And he's like, yeah, do you want it to be level or not? He's like, you're going to tell me that it's level with a fucking bubble. And Morty's like, whatever. And he goes and fucks off, and then Rick, like, does his Rick shit. There's, like, a montage of him building this thing. And he's like, okay. And he puts him in it, and Morty's like, and then he goes to step out, and he's like, everything is crooked. The world is a lie. He has a mental breakdown. It's a good episode. I can talk about how I went to the grocery store the other day, and as I was pulling out to go onto the main road here, I went by a church, the church that's over there, and there was a stretched Hummer limousine just parked in the street.
In the church?
No, in the road.
Okay.
Like in one of the lanes of traffic. It's a 2-lane road. And I couldn't look because I was in the left lane and they were in the right lane. So cars were like veering out of the right lane, and I had to pay attention so that I didn't get, smashed into. So I couldn't like see what was going on. Then on the way back, I was coming down and I saw it again. It was still there, and there was a cop car with its sirens on, with its lights on, parked behind it, and there were like 40 people out front of the church, all wearing like not dress clothes, but like
wedding
casual
clothes?
Dress, yeah. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Why would you park a 40-foot long Hummer just in the road?
If you you need a special driver's license to be a limo driver, right?
Probably.
I think you do.
Because it's a different kind of maneuvering.
Right.
It's like driving a big rig. I would imagine.
I wonder if
Having
you
not
could just-
done either.
No. Have you ever been in a big rig?
Probably at some point in my life. Not while I was moving, but like
No.
at
No,
a
I've
car
just-
show or something.
Yeah. Our neighbors had one. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's like cabs in the back where you can go sleep when you're parked.
Yeah, there's also
TVs
like
and
little
stuff.
yeah. All right. I don't know. I was looking to see if you could just buy a limo, just because.
Well, you can't, right?
Well,
have
if
to
you
buy
have
a
the license,
car,
if you have the
and then you have to take it to a place and then they make it a limo, I think.
What? No, they don't.
I think so.
No, you think they don't make limousines?
I don't think they do.
What are you talking
don't
about?
think
Are you an
that's-
idiot?
No, I don't think that's
It's
a
a
real
kind
thing.
of car.
I don't think it is.
A limo?
I don't think it is. Like a stretched.
Yeah, I'm not
like a
talking
regular
about
limo.
Yeah.
Like a stretched.
Yeah, I'm not talking
I don't
about
think
those.
that's a real thing. I think that's you buy a car.
Yeah,
and you
that's
bring
like
it
a
to a
custom
place,
thing. A limousine is
they
not
build
a
it.
a limousine is not a custom thing. The stretched out ones, sure. Yeah, no, I'm
that's-
talking a basic limousine.
But that's just like a slightly longer car. That's nothing.
They're well, that's what I want.
You want a regular. It's like buying a 2018 private jet. It's bullshit.
This one's only $10,500.
There's no way
And
that
it's
car
in,
runs.
and it's in Florida, and it looks like it has British license plates. You want to call this guy? It's only got 62,000 miles on it before it broke down in the driveway of a car dealership.
That's in America. The other
Yes, it looks.
240,000 miles is in Britain.
Yeah, really. What is that license plate? Hold on.
We're doing a deep dive on
Oh,
limousines.
shit. I don't know what that... That looks European as fuck. It's a European limo. He told me it only had 60,000 miles on it. That was in America. The guy drove it for 10 fucking years in Germany.
The registration says it was built in 1985.
That's like a Sunny in Philadelphia. That would be like Charlie and Frank. It's a European limo,
the
Charlie.
junkyard.
Yeah. Charlie spends all Frank's money on a stretched limousine from Europe that's got like 450,000 miles on it and like barely runs. I got a great deal on it. Oh, yeah.
I thought it was like football, where the higher the number, the better it was.
They call it Charlie's stretched limo. Well, they do have a limo in one episode.
I think
The
they
trash-
have a limo in multiple episodes.
The trash. Oh, yeah, that's true.
And at least 2 episodes.
There's the trash one, and then the one where they steal Frank's money, and then there's the one where Charlie throws up on that woman.
So yeah, that's 4, because there's Frank gets out of one in the mountain.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They have a lot of experience with limo.
That's the kind of car I want, like that. Not a stretched limo. That's just that's excessive.
I want one that I can park on a main road. It wasn't like
It wasn't even like trying to tuck onto
it
the side.
wasn't like down. It's like the main road in Augusta,
Right.
and it was just in one of the it was parked off to the side of the lane. But it's not like a regular road where you can just do that. This is like a main. there's no room.
Here's the thing with limousines too: is it always shows people like partying in them. It's a car though. Are you allowed to just drink if you're not driving it? Like, is there an exception for limos?
I don't know.
Like, I've always wondered that because I know people will drink when they take their their RVs out and stuff like that. But
Right.
like, not the driver, but like everybody in the back is like sitting at a table
How
having
does
beer.
like seatbelt law apply there?
That's the other thing I was wondering. I don't think it does.
Because you don't need to wear a seatbelt on a bus, I don't think.
No, you don't. It must be like the same as a bus.
Like if you get over, you can also, can you drink on a bus?
No.
Like
They
when,
don't. The company doesn't allow it. I don't know if it's against the law.
like.
I mean, it's
you-
happened before.
If you rented a bus, would you be allowed to, like a party bus? You can get a party bus, put like a stripper pole on it.
Can you drink in a limo in Texas? Oh, this looks like a statewide thing. I'll do in Maine.
Oh yeah, that's what's important. Otherwise, we're gonna have to move.
In Maine, drivers and passengers are generally prohibited from consuming and possessing open containers of alcohol in motor vehicles. Yeah, but that doesn't answer.
I love.
Oh my god! Wait, what was sorry? What?
I was gonna say I love government answers to things because they're so vague.
Yeah, really. I like this. People also ask, "Can you drink in the car in Maine?"
Yep, that sounds like a main question to ask.
Yep. Basically, I don't even know why they had to write a. I don't even know how they even had to write like a paragraph to explain that.
Yeah, just say no.
Yeah, the answer is no. Can you drink in public in Maine? Public drinking.
I mean, you can.
All right, if the person drinks liquor, yeah, that's the thing. Is they're like, can you? It's like you can. It should be
you can
may
do a lot
I.
of things.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things. Should you? No.
When I go to trivia, a lot of the question, like sometimes the question is, what is illegal to do in a French vineyard? And every single time that comes up, I'm like, murder, tax evasion, prostitution, probably. Like you can't just say that.
I like how they're all trying to like make excuses here or like make exceptions.
Right.
Like the ones like, can you drink wine on a picnic? It's like, it's not like it's hard liquor. It's like, it's all the same thing. No.
What if it's a Tuesday?
Can you drink and drive in America? ?
Again, you can. I mean, you can legally drink and drive as long as you're not over the limit.
No, you can't.
Right?
It's open container.
Well, no, I mean, you can drink and then drive.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a beer and then drive.
But, not. Did you watch the video I sent you?
Which one?
Of, British people in the 1960s when they put drunk driving laws into place?
No, I did not watch that.
It's like 5 minutes long. It's really weird because all of the people, like the first guy they interview is like, it's unfair because what about the drunk pedestrian? He can cause accidents. It's like,
send it to me again.
You don't understand. You're driving like a 2-ton. It was the 1960s, so it was probably like 4 tons. Didn't have good brakes. It's like, what are you talking about? And then a lot of people are like, I think I am fully capable of driving. And the guy interviewing him was like, you can't even talk. And he's like, I did it for years.
Well, have you ever seen like movies from the 60s where they're just constantly drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You watch 3 James Bond movies.
Right, but like I was watching this, sometimes I watch the Timeless Classic Movies channel, and they had one and it was just like, this guy's just like, some woman's just asking like what the location of something is, and the guy's like, does a bunch of shots, and he's like, yeah, I'm headed there myself. You can follow me if you'd like. But like, it's not even like, they don't even make it like an issue that like, that's not part of the plot or anything. It's just a normal scene, not about him. The hell was that?
Nothing, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Different time.
Yeah, the 60s were awesome if you were a straight white guy.
Yeah.
Not so much if you were anybody else.
Yeah. There's a video I watched, or I didn't watch all of it, but it was you know how a lot of people are like, why do people nowadays look younger than like other people did?
A thumbnail.
Yeah, it was a Vsauce thing.
I should watch that. Vsauce is good.
Yeah, I started. I didn't finish it, but I want to watch it because that's something that like I've noticed.
Like
as
a
well.
black and white photo of a woman putting on lipstick.
Probably.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that a couple times.
But
like
it's kind. It seems like it's true, kind of.
I guess.
But
I mean, they were smoking like 40 packs a day.
That's the thing I was about to say.
And drinking from the age of 12.
Yeah.
So
like you would age pretty rapidly. Plus like the no sunscreen.
Yeah. But there were attractive people back then. I mean, Like young, attractive people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you mean? I don't mean like old, just older, like.
I'm just saying you're calling everybody back in the 60s ugly, and I'm saying that there were some attractive
ugly.
people.
Yeah, sure. But remember the James Bond movie when we looked up that woman's age?
She was like 34.
I think she was even younger than that. She was like 26 or something.
She looked
like
40.
She looked like she was like 40 years old. Like that's what the Vsauce thing's about. Apparently, I gotta watch it when I get home. But
those James Bond movies are great. I remember we should watch more of those. We should watch the Brosnan ones. Because GoldenEye is like a good movie, and then
yeah, you wanted to watch all the shitty ones.
Well, I wanted to watch them all.
Yeah,
because I thought it'd be fun, and then it was parlayed to me that nobody else found it fun.
Yes,
because we were just sitting there watching mostly bad movies.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it was funny watching the first two, which I think are Dr. No and From Russia with Love.
And then the third one was like actually a movie.
And then they were just boring as shit. And then we watched Goldfinger, and you're like, "What happened? This movie's good. Like this is actually real a movie."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little while.
That's why people say that Goldfinger is the best, and it's not the other ones. I have an appreciation for the other ones because they were the first, and Sean Connery drinks so much and sexually assaults so many women.
And that sort of thing's funny to you.
It's not funny. It's sort of like the Hindenburg, you know.
It's kind of funny.
It's not funny, but
I mean, it's pretty funny.
You'll watch it, and you'll be mesmerized by it.
Yeah. Do you have a sister?
No.
No, try watching those with your sister.
Okay,
She'll point out you'll get like a female perspective.
Yeah. You watch those with a woman. You realize that, right? Lindsay was there.
Oh yeah, that's sort of the same thing.
She's like my sister.
No. I mean, like,
sorry,
I was
Lindsay.
watching it and I was just like, yeah, whatever. And then my sister was like, that's assault.
Yeah,
that's sexual assault.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are you talking about? She's totally into it. You get a whole different.
There's some fighting later on. And in Goldfinger,
well, even in
I can point to the scene.
Even in the Daniel Craig ones, there's one where he like backs this woman up into like a corner.
Yep.
And my sister was like saying that was wrong because he was like an older man and it was intimidation. And I was like,
I would agree with that.
I was like, maybe she's just into it though. Like she could have just liked that, you know?
I do like Daniel Craig's take on it because somebody asked him about that. I was watching like a GQ interview with him, and for No Time to Die.
Yeah, he's not a perfect guy.
And he was like, "Yeah, James Bond is a piece of fucking shit. That's how I'm gonna play him." It is really funny.
Yes.
Times have changed. Now you can't just openly sexually assault women. Well, I mean, you can if you're like good at football.
Yeah. What did we just say about
whatever?
Ken? You may not.
You can get away with it if you are, you know, like rich or, you know,
for a certain while, for a certain time.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey got away with it for a while.
But then, like, the problem is, once one rich person goes down, they start ratting each other out because everybody knows.
Start shredding your documents.
Shred your documents.
You walk in, there's a dead cat.
Yeah, I mean that's what
can't smell it.
That's what Roman Polanski did.
Yeah.
He just raped an underage girl and went to France, and nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. That's why we gotta have Batman needs to exist.
Because he has no jurisdiction.
Yeah, you can go to China and extract that guy and pull him out in the plane.
I don't know where he is. I don't know if he's still alive.
Batman?
No, Roman Polanski. Where is that guy? Is he still around?
Him and Bruce Wayne seem to.
Yeah.
They disappear at the same times. It's
weird. I don't
know. Man, The Dark Knight is such a good movie. That scene especially when he goes to China.
Oh yeah.
Like every scene in that movie is great. But I love that.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
We should probably wrap up pretty soon here.
Yeah, I gotta get going.
This has been a podcast. Follow us on Instagram, JGTI Podcast or JGTI Pod, I think. I don't fucking know. Search the thing. Look in the description. I don't give a fuck. Tell a friend. Make them lie to them. Tell them it's funny. Make them listen. Or we're not making the podcast anymore.
Yeah.
Jordan, you want to play us out here?
Yeah, hit the button.